Evergreen High School in Jefferson County, Colorado, turned into a scene of heartbreak when a teenage student opened fire during the school day. Authorities have reported that at least 3 students were hospitalized after the shooting, and the suspected shooter later died from a self-inflicted wound. Families, classmates, and the wider community are left reeling, asking how this could happen in a place meant to be safe for learning. According to initial reports, emergency calls began around midday, and law enforcement responded quickly to the scene. Students and staff were placed on lockdown while deputies secured the campus and nearby areas. Parents were directed to a designated reunification point where anxious families waited for news about their children. In the hours that followed, hospitals activated trauma teams to treat the injured, and local officials coordinated with federal partners to begin a full investigation. The victims are all minors. Medical teams are working around the clock to care for those with critical injuries, and hospital officials have asked the public and the media to respect the privacy of the families during this painful time. The suspected shooter was a teenager who reportedly used a revolver. Authorities have not publicly released a full identification, pending notifications and ongoing investigative steps. Investigators are pursuing search warrants, reviewing security camera footage, and examining the suspect's social media and personal history to determine motive and whether there were warning signs that were missed. This tragedy is not an isolated moment, but part of a distressing pattern of school violence in the United States. Communities from Columbine to Parkland and beyond have faced long-term trauma from similar incidents. Each new shooting forces the same urgent questions. Were there preventable warning signs? How quickly did the response occur? And what systems failed to stop this from happening? In the immediate aftermath, local leaders have emphasized support for victims and a thorough investigation. Elected officials, school administrators, and community organizers are meeting with families, first responders, and mental health professionals to coordinate care. Counseling services are being made available to students. The policy implications are complex and politically charged. Some advocates call for stronger firearm regulations, such as universal background checks, higher minimum purchase ages for certain weapons, mandatory safe storage laws, and red flag provisions that temporarily remove firearms from individuals deemed a risk. Others stress the need for better funded mental health services in schools, more robust threat assessment and reporting systems, and improved training for educators and law enforcement on how to identify and intervene when a student shows concerning behavior. Opponents of stricter gun laws argue that Second Amendment protections and individual rights must be preserved, suggesting that enhancing school security through measures like controlled entry points, surveillance technology, and the presence of trained school resource officers can reduce risk. Many experts say it is not an either-or choice. Effective prevention likely requires a combination of policy changes, mental health investments, community programs, and practical safety measures tailored to each school's needs. For parents, teachers, and students, there are practical steps that can help reduce risk and improve preparedness. Families should talk openly with children about safety, emotional well-being, and how to report concerns. Schools should ensure clear, well-practiced emergency procedures and communication plans are in place, and staff should receive training in threat recognition and trauma-informed response. Communities can press for funding to increase counseling services, support programs for at-risk youth, and initiatives that promote safe storage of firearms. Reporting a credible threat early can be life-saving. Promoting a culture where students and staff feel empowered to speak up is essential. Media coverage also matters. Responsible reporting avoids sensationalism and respects the privacy of victims and families. While the public must be informed, excessive detail about methods or motives can inadvertently inspire copycat acts. Balanced reporting that focuses on verified facts, survivor support resources, and policy conversations helps communities respond constructively. There will be calls for answers, and rightly so. Officials must be transparent about timelines, the effectiveness of the response, and any systemic failures uncovered by the investigation. Families of victims deserve clarity and accountability. At the same time, long-term solutions require sustained political will and cross-partisan cooperation at local, state, and federal levels, something that has been too difficult to achieve in prior cycles of outrage and inaction. This is a moment to grieve, to support those directly affected, and to reflect on what can be done differently. It is also a moment for each of us to take practical actions. Check that your child's school has clear safety protocols, participate in community conversations about prevention, and consider how local policies and resources could be strengthened. For policymakers, it is a reminder that preventing future tragedies demands attention to mental health, sensible safety policies, and measures that reduce the likelihood a young person can access a lethal weapon. We will continue to follow updates as authorities release more information about the incident, the victims, and the investigation. If you are in the affected community and need help, look for official guidance from local school officials and health providers about counseling and support services. If you have information that could help investigators, contact local law enforcement. Early reporting can be critical. This shooting at Evergreen High School is a painful reminder of the vulnerability of our schools and the urgent need to act. The path forward will not be simple or without disagreement, but the safety of children and school communities must remain the highest priority. Let us hold the victims and their families in our thoughts, support those providing care, and commit to pursuing concrete measures that can prevent future tragedies. Subscribe to our channel right now to get more new information like this. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Thank you for giving us your valuable time on our channel.